Hey girl, hey, welcome to Tia's Table. Let's talk about everything from the latest fitness and wellness trends, recipes that are actually worth cooking, and the craziness that's happening on our side of the internet. Sit back, grab a snack, and let's have some girl talk. Hey girl, hey, welcome back to Tia's Table. If you're not following us on Instagram, check us out. I'm over at Tia's Table Podcast on Instagram, as well as Tia V Fitness over on Instagram. Either page, you can find me and get linked into all of the things. I might actually start posting again to my fitness page here pretty soon, and we're going to talk about why that is here in a minute. But before we do, let's talk about what's on my table this week that was too good not to come and tell you about it. I met a girlfriend out for breakfast. First of all, I needed that. I needed girlfriend time that wasn't at my house or in a hospital. So I was so happy to get up and get out and get over to somewhere that was going to serve me breakfast that was real cute, real hot, and really delicious. Oh my goodness. I ordered the Eggs Benedict with smoked salmon, with a side of what they called $1 million potatoes. Those potatoes were creamy, cheesy, and bacony in all of the ways you need something to be. They gave me so many of those potatoes, though, that I had to bring the majority of them home, which was fine, girl, because I warmed them up and I ate them with some of those really good chicken tenders that I tell everybody about that you get at Costco. I had that for lunch. So good. So delicious. Those eggs were perfectly cooked. The bread that they served it on was crusty on the outside, soft enough on the inside though, so that you could cut it with a fork, right? The way that yolk oozed out and covered that smoked salmon, every single bite was delicious. I had it with a little morning salad. I'm not sure what type of vinaigrette they had it tossed in. I really can't remember, but let's say it was balsamic, girl. I really can't remember, but it was good. It wasn't too heavily dressed. The leafy greens were indeed leafy and yummy. And every time I pass by that place now, I will probably be tempted to go ahead and tiptoe inside there and have me a yummy, delicious breakfast. The coffee was good. The service was good. I give that whole experience a 10 out of 10. A 10 out of 10. And that place just opened over here. Maybe about 3 or 4 weeks ago. It just opened. So very happy to have a new little breakfast spot in our community, because the places that we have had up until this point have kind of been decent, but not great. And that place has the potential to be really great. So yum, yum. That was the meal that I wanted to tell y'all about today. I don't have no updates as far as my whole little situation goes. Then people still ain't called me back yet. So we're on 5 business days since my scan. I truly would appreciate a phone call from them, if for no other reason, so that I could go ahead and plan all of the things around whatever that date is going to be. I feel like my doctor is going to hold firm on me having this bag for that exact 90 days, which I completely understand if that's in my best interest. It's real strict over there at her doctor's office. She's so sweet and so cool, so chill, so laid back. But at the same time, that lady does not play about what she believes to be best for you. And I really think she believes it would be best for me to sit out this entire 90 days exactly, because no one has called me as of yet. But as soon as I hear from them, girl, I'm going to let you know. Today, I wanted to talk about some of the things that have come to me during this time. We can call this couch confessions or colostomy confessions. I was a little torn between the two of those names for this segment. This confession's all the same, right? It came to me the other day when I was being asked about something that's not completely related to what I should expect for myself after this, but it was close enough that it took me down that rabbit hole, It was like opening Pandora's box of overthinking and people probably think, well, I'm sure she's thought a lot about what is it going to be like for her after all of this is done. And surprisingly, I haven't really thought much about that. I think I have been so alive in the present day of it all that I really have not sat down and been like, well, Tia, what do you want for yourself once this is done? Because I do feel like I'm going to get to start from scratch. I literally closed down the app, right? So I don't have coaching to fall back on right now or to even pick back up again. I literally shut my app down. So even if I wanted to do that again, I would have to start over with that from the beginning, which quite possibly couldn't be a bad thing. I think I learned a lot about having an app from that, and I see areas of improvement, how I could do it better and or different based on how people were actually using it. So there's that. But then number two, I'm like, yeah, this is one of those opportunities that you get in life that does not come to you very often, where you can say, now that I get to design my days the way that I want to, how do I want to go about doing that? And that is when the box of overthinking opened up for me. Because, and I hope it's not too early to talk about 2026, I do recognize December has not even come to us yet, but why put off today what I will still be thinking about tomorrow, okay? So, yeah, I'm like, well, what's going to happen for me in 2026? Now, granted, we know I'm going to start 2026 on a little bit of a rocky road. And I don't know how many other people have already started thinking about the new year and things they want to do, places they want to go, like goals they have, whether it's like career goals or fitness goals or traveling goals or like whatever, lifestyle goals, things you just want to change and do. But I have started thinking about it now. And I would like to, not that this segment is sponsored by anybody, but I would like to blame this whole topic of conversation on my husband, who asked me if I was going to need special leggings for after my surgery. And for whatever reason, that question is what sent me down this rabbit hole. Because then I started thinking about all the things I would need after this was over, which led me into thinking about, well, what am I going to be doing? Where am I going to be going? What is my life going to be like? So he and I were talking about it, and he basically said to me, like, okay, once this is over, I don't want you to think that things are going to go back to the way that they were, like as you remember them being and as you had been living prior to this. And I said, well, then what do you mean? And he said, well, some of the stuff that I've been doing, I actually like it, and I really don't want you to start doing it again. And then I said, okay, well, then what do you mean? And then he said, oh, I really like doing the morning thing. I like making them breakfast. I like doing their lunches. I like taking them to school. And then I said, okay, but if you're doing that, then what would I be doing? Because that is what I do. I do that. I open the diner. I write the lunch notes. Boom, boom, boom. Or is this going to be like a tag team effort, because I don't want to completely be erased from the morning routine of it all? And he was like, oh, well, you can kind of do whatever you want. He was like, if you want to go to Pilates, or if you want to go walk or do like a class on your bike or whatever, he was like, if you still want to get up early, you should, but maybe use that time to do something that you would actually like to do. And then, of course, like if you want to still have breakfast with them or whatever, he was like, I'll still make your breakfast, because he's been doing that, you know. He was like, I'll still make your breakfast. You can have breakfast with them. But like he was saying, but he still wants to be the driving force of the diner in the morning. Like he wants to start opening the diner. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess that's new. That will be very new and different, but we can definitely try it out and see how it goes, right? I said, okay, so fine. So maybe my mornings won't be like what they were before, and maybe I really can start having just an easier start to the day, something smooth and light. We can do that. I probably will still take at least one kid to school only because I want to. I'm like, I want to do it too. Like, taking the kids to school is the best part. It's the making the breakfast and the lunches that kind of sucks. But the dropping off, that's like the fun part. So maybe we can share that part. Anyway. And so then I was thinking, well, once the kids get dropped off at school, what am I going to do? Like, of course, right now I have been doing all the hobbies. I have been crocheting. I have been learning the guitar. I have been getting books from the library, researching a lot of things. And what I think I have decided for myself is that while I like having hobbies, I think hobbies serve a purpose and they have a place. I don't think I am an all-day hobby kind of girl, or at least not yet. And I don't know how long it would take me to become somebody who was mentally okay with doing hobbies all day, but I know I'm not there yet. So I know that means I need to be doing something that feels a little bit more, and I don't want to use the word productive, but I want to say I need to be doing something that still has a sense of accomplishment at a greater level, like tied to it. Now, of course, you get a sense of accomplishment when you learn a new skill, like playing the guitar, or when you learn how to make something with your own two hands, like crocheting. A lot of accomplishment comes from that, but I feel like it's a different kind of accomplishment. I really do feel like when you are doing something that, even if you don't call it work, but it feels like work, you get a different sense of achievement from that. And maybe that is the word we should be using, achievement, not accomplishment. But you get something different from that. And I was getting something different from that when I was coaching. So at breakfast on Wednesday, I was talking to my friend about this, and I was just like, yeah, girl, I don't know what I don't know what I want to do when this is over. I was like, I shut down all of the coaching that I was doing. And to be honest with you, I don't even know if coaching is something that I want to do again. I said, I still wouldn't mind like helping women, because I did enjoy that. I was like, but I don't know if I want it to be the way it was before. And I need to give it some thought as to how I could still help people without doing it in the same way that I was doing it before, right? And so we kind of talked about that and threw around a couple ideas. I think I'm interested in some of those ideas, but then some of them would require the use of social media. And that too is something that I have not fully wrapped my head around enough to feel passionately enough about it to be consistent with it. And I really do feel like the things people are consistent with are the things they're just passionate about. And for whatever reason, social media has not grabbed me in that way where I feel like I want to, or I could see myself like filming things all day and then putting that out. I really do feel like I want to be able to share what I know about fitness, food, nutrition, and all of the things without necessarily doing it in that form of media. I really do enjoy doing the podcast. I'm passionate about this, and that's why I've started doing more than one episode a week. Number one, because I'm already paying for the airtime and I just wasn't using it. But then for two, I'm like, this is a way for me to share the things that I know, share the things that I'm doing in a way that I do feel is not only helpful and effective, but also easy and quick for me to do. I come here, I sit down, I talk to y'all. When this is over, I literally upload it to my computer and I hit publish. When I tell people I do not edit these podcasts, I really don't. That's why if my dog barks or my husband opens that door and starts talking to me, you're going to catch it. In all transparency, this is the second time I'm sitting down to record this podcast, because the first time I started recording it, I actually got a text message from my daughter on my other phone asking me to put money on her lunch account so that she could buy a honey bun. This is a child who has Apple Pay, but I guess the school doesn't take Apple Pay and the vending machines don't have honey buns. To which I told her, I'm not about to get up and go downstairs and put money on your lunch card at school so that you can buy a honey bun, something that I don't really think you need to be eating anyway. And so there was that. But that conversation with her kind of took my focus, and then I had to start talking to y'all again. Like I had to erase and come back. So anyway, yes, we were talking about what I see for myself and like some of the goals that I have for 2026 when all of this is over. And I struggle with the idea that everything doesn't have to necessarily give you the type of reward that maybe you have been used to getting. Now, of course, when I was coaching, I would take on a new client. In exchange for me coaching them, I would get paid money, right? I think a lot of the things, or at least a lot of the creative things that are out there now do involve a waiting period. Not that I'm above waiting or that I don't want to. I just feel like now, like I'm grown now. Like when people were mommy blogging back in the day, I had no problem blogging until one day I just started getting paid from brands to blog about different things or mention different products. And so then I was getting paid for that, right? When I switched and started doing like more fitness related stuff, I was teaching classes, I was working in studios and in gyms, I started coaching, and that just so easily evolved on its own that it just became a thing. And I really didn't have to wait for that to generate income. Now I feel like I'm at a place where I'm like, anything that I choose to do, there's going to be some type of waiting period that I'm going to have to be okay with, which means I am going to have to retrain my thinking and tell myself, this is still work, even though you might not be getting paid to do it today, right? You have to be okay doing the work in the hopes, and then that's the other thing that gets to me too, in the hopes that one day you might end up earning an income from it. And I don't know how many people who are listening to this have tried to do any type of entrepreneurial project, business, anything, but it is not as easy as you think that it is to put yourself out there, market yourself, and provide a service to people and become somebody that people actually trust and want to work with. Now, how I know I'm a trusted person in the niche and the industry that I work in is because when people want to talk about fitness, food, whatever they got going on weight loss wise, they do message me either on social media, or if they have my phone number, they will text me. Like, and I know this to be a thing. So I know I have placed myself in a space where I'm like, okay, this is what people know me for. This is what they want to talk to me about when they have come to a place in their lives where they're ready to talk to somebody about it. I'm the person that I'm one of the people at least that they want to come talk to. And I appreciate that. And I don't take that for granted. Where that also gets to be a little tricky for me too, as a coach, is that I'm like, well, how much of that should I be doing? Like, how much of that should I be doing? Or should I be okay with the fact that, that is just going to come with the whole thing I've already created and set up for myself, which is now you're known for something. People are going to talk to you about that thing, whether they're paying you to talk to them about it or not. And so I feel like that's something that I've been thinking about a lot too. How much, because I've been listening to a podcast that talks about, creating your business on the internet. And I'm like, well, how much of your knowledge should you be giving away for free? Like, how much? And people really, I think, were shocked when I said I was taking a break from the fitness page while I go through all of this stuff. But to be honest, the main reason I had to take a break from it was because when you post anything about your food or your workout on the internet, people really do respond to that stuff. They might not follow you. They might not even necessarily follow like your page when you post new things. So they might not be commenting or like liking your stuff when you're sharing it, but if you post to your stories on a consistent basis, that's like watching TV for a lot of people. And people who weren't even following me would respond to my stories and say, like, oh, this is great, I'm gonna try this. Or they would ask me questions about what I was doing or what I was eating. And I was having full-blown conversations with people in my DMs. So that's why I had to shut that page down, because I'm like, I don't want to be doing that anymore. Like, I don't want to feel like I'm basically changing your life and I'm changing it for free, because this is what a coaching client actually pays me to do. And because I'm not earning a living from brands or from social media, because people get paid from, like, I think actual YouTube and TikTok and Instagram and things like that. I'm like, them people not paying me. So I really don't want to be spending a lot of time up here either, because that's not giving me any type of return on my time. So let's have like an honest conversation about that too. So it's not that I don't want to help people. I just want to feel like I'm getting something in exchange for that time, which I think that's what all people want, which is why if you have a traditional job, you go to work, and in exchange for that time and that effort and that energy, you get a paycheck every 2 weeks, 1st and the 15th, and people are giving you what y'all have agreed to so that you keep coming to work. When you are an entrepreneur or you try to build something from the ground up for yourself, you have to know that you're going to put in a lot of work, a lot of energy, and a lot of effort, and you might not get anything back from it. And that is real tea about this whole thing. You really might not. So when I think about 2026 and what's going to be there for me after all of this, I have a lot of anxiety about that, because I'm like, ooh, girl, I don't know what I'm going to do. But I do know I can't be a professional hobby girl. Like, I'm doing all the hobbies now. And while it's fun and it's playful and it is great forms of self-care, I know I'm a person that needs to be doing a little bit more than that. I know that for myself. And I need to figure out what that something is going to be. And then I need to mentally wrap my head around the fact that I'm probably going to have to do it for some time and like build it from the ground up while I'm in what will feel like a waiting period before it feels like the level of achievement that I think I need to feel successful. And I know somebody out there is probably thinking, oh, but you could just do this stuff and just do it just to do it. And I could, because that's essentially what I'm doing now. But I really do think that part of having peace in your life is being at peace in your career. And I know it's probably people out there. We will specifically talk about women, because I saw a thread on this the other day. There are women out there that don't, I don't want to say have a job, but there are women out there whose partners do like make all of the money and they pay all of the bills. And I'm pretty sure they don't think about doing anything that remotely resembles work. And that's okay with them. I think I'm not even looking to all of a sudden become the breadwinner of my house. Like, I'm not even looking for that. I think what I'm looking to do is at the very least replace what I was making in my coaching business, because that would be good enough for me. Like, that would be good enough for me. And I would feel like, okay, Tia, the stuff that you're doing is actually giving you somewhat of a return that you can feel proud of and good about. So I don't know. Hopefully all of that 2026 rambling actually makes some kind of sense. To which, all of this, I had this conversation with my husband. We talked about this last night. And he was like, well, why do you attach achievement with making money? And I said, you know what? I am going to have to sit with that for a minute. I was like, I'm going to have to sit with that. I said, my initial response to that is because I feel like I've done things for so long. without like the making money part of it. I said, and sometimes it is fun just to do things, just to do them. And there is a lot of success in just doing things just to do them. If you write a book and no one buys it, you're still an author, right? So there's like that kind of thing happening. But if you write a book and you become a New York Times bestseller and millions of people buy your book and read it and love it, that is a different type, I think, of achievement. And I think it's something about that I'm like, I think I need to feel that before I leave this earth. I need to feel like, oh, your work has had an impact. And for the people that I have coached, and you will tell me, I know, because I have the text messages in my phone, like, oh, you did help me. I did reach this goal or whatever. Like, I know people feel like I have impacted them, but I think that, I don't know, I'm just at a different place in life now, and I'm looking to feel something a little bit different, and I have to figure out what that is, how to do it, and how to make that happen for myself. Luckily for me, I'm only 41, so I feel like I have plenty of time to figure this out. I don't have to figure it out tomorrow. I don't have to figure it out in 2026, but I would like to believe that once I'm ready next year to do more, that hopefully by then it would have come to me and I'll be ready to execute it and be in a place mentally where I am also okay with that not necessarily being something that I'm getting paid to do initially, right? A lot of things aren't all about money, but sometimes things just are, I feel like. Is that fair? Is this a safe space to say that? Hopefully so, girl. If you can't be safe on your own podcast, where can you be safe? What do y'all think about that? I don't know. Also, just as another little fun thing that I thought about the other day, is that I have started having a hard time answering the question, like, how are you doing? Like, how are you doing? How are you doing? How are things going? And I'm like, girl, I don't know how I'm doing and how things are going. I mean, I do, but I don't. So I've been telling people like, oh, I'm good. I'm okay. I'm just waiting for that next surgery to happen. And until then, girl, like I'm just winging it, just hanging out. But really, what I want to say to people, but I don't want people to feel bad, right? I don't want people to feel bad. But a part of me is like, girl, actually, I don't know how I'm doing. I've had some form of a stomach ache since August, right? Some days it's better than others. Some days it might not even hurt at all. But for the most part, off and on, almost every day I can expect to have some level of discomfort in my stomach. So like that hasn't always been fun. And then also, now that my cycle has returned, I'm starting to have a cycle while also taking blood thinners. If you've never experienced that before in your life, girl, I hope you never have to. But that has also just been like the icing on my already crazy cake. So I'm like, yeah, I don't know how to answer that question. If I were to answer it honestly, it would be most of it isn't, anything that I would want for myself. But like, here we are. So I'm trying to be chin up, chest out and take it all in stride. When really I'm like, please, any day now, doctor, you could call me. You could call me right now at 12:25 on November 13th and say, Tia, stop eating. I need you to be here at 2:00 in the morning, girl, and I'm going to do that surgery. And I would be like, bet. You don't got to worry about me putting nothing in my mouth. You don't have to worry about it. And I think that's really how I'm doing. So another thing that I have learned throughout this whole thing is that people really don't have the capacity for you to share how you're doing. Because if I say like, girl, how you think I'm doing? These are all the things that I'm experiencing right now as I'm talking to you. And they'll be like, oh, like people just don't know what to do with it. They don't know what to do with it, which is fine, which is why I've learned to keep it to myself and just say like, oh, I'm doing good. I'm doing okay. Because I'm really not doing the worst that I've been. But also, yeah, I would prefer it if I didn't feel so extremely bloated like all the time. Like that would be awesome if I could eat without the food running right through me. And when I mean it runs right through you, I mean it's like, Lord, I'm running, trying to make 100. That's how fast that food runs through me now, which, on the one hand, you think, man, maybe this is how regular I'm supposed to be. But on the other hand, it's kind of like there is no rest for the weary. Like, how do we even live? Which I've had people tell me they know people with stomas and like colostomy bags, and they've trained theirs to like not be that way. And again, I think I've said this already on one of these calls. Those people just must not be eating. They just must not be eating. Because if you eat, you just cannot do that. I don't know how they're doing it. Nor do I want to find out, because I don't plan to have this long enough to need to train it. But yeah, I have been thinking a lot about that too. So that's also one of my confessions. I think that's confession number 2. Confession number 1 is, I don't know what I'm going to do for work when this is all over, because I fired myself. I quit my own job. Confession number 2 is, I really don't know how I'm doing, girl. And when people be asking me that, I just be lying and saying I'm fine, so that I can talk about something else other than, the fact that my stomach is probably hurting. Oh, well, and confession number 3 probably is, and hopefully no one in my family or my husband hears this, as soon as I publish it. But yeah, when I'm starting to drive again and I go out and about and I do things, small things, short little trips here and there. Yeah, sometimes I do notice that, like, oh, now that I'm actually doing something, that does make my stomach hurt. And I don't know if that's like the muscles in my stomach having to get retrained to do different things. Like maybe my core is just weak and maybe that's what it really is. But like, I really do notice that when I'm out and about doing stuff, it either exhausts me. Like I really am tired to the point where when I get back home, I'm like, I'm finished for the rest of the day. Or I really will not just be feeling that great. And I'll be thinking like, oh my gosh, I came out into the wild and maybe I should have stayed at home. Maybe I should have stayed at home like the people was telling me to. I don't know. So there's another confession. And I think my last confession is, this has definitely taught me, which could be related to the first confession, but this has definitely taught me that I really do need to find something to do with myself. Like I know for a fact I cannot be a person whose children are at school all day, and while they're at school all day, I'm just out here frolicking. Of course, I love a good frolic Friday. On Friday, I don't mind to be out here dilly-dallying, going on side quests, and gallivanting all over the place. I don't mind that on a cute little Friday, especially if the weather is nice. But for the rest of the days, I really do feel like I need to be doing something that stimulates my brain, that feels productive, that feels like something that could be called a job, and that would hopefully at some point be something that I could be proud of, that earns me a little pocket change. That's all a girl is trying to do. All a girl is trying to do is have a little pocket change. I'm not trying to be like which I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind it if something blew up that big, but I'm like, that's not even, and someone's going to say, well, you're not dreaming big enough. Girl, no, I'm dreaming realistically for what I know it would be fine with me based on my life and how it is set up today. And that would be my next confession, that I know I cannot be the girl that just does the things like that all day. I can't do it. So anyway, let's do some quick little rundowns of the things we're watching on TV. Before we talk about TV, though, I would like to say that if you are interested again in joining book club for 2026, Please go over to pouringoverbooks.com. Join us for book club next year because the books really do hit and the conversations are always fun. You will learn something and it helps you become a more avid, steady, consistent reader, right? The book we are reading this month is so good. I'm going to do an update on that story on our next call because this call I have too many TV shows and like movies and things to talk about. And I want to make sure we make it through all of them before I go. Number 1, I watched Merry Little Xmas on Netflix. It stars Alicia Silverstone, who we know from Clueless, Melissa Joan Hart, who we know from Clarissa Explains It All, and Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Jamila Jamil, who you might know from The Good Place, the show that was really popular, I think, on like NBC. She's in this and she's very funny. She's funny. Like, she needs to be in more things, but you might remember her from that. Jeffrey Owens, who you might remember as Alvin from The Cosby Show. Remember, people found him working in Trader Joe's, I think a few years ago during the pandemic, and he kind of talked to whoever that was about the fact that, like, yeah, I was an actor, the role stopped coming, and I had to get out here and make a living any way I knew how. And so he was working at Trader Joe's. And I've been seeing him in projects ever since then. So I think that gave him some type of resurgence. He's so funny and such a great actor. Everything that I have seen him in since he's like come back into the acting world has been good. He's in this movie. I love his role in it. And then the love interests in this movie are familiar faces. You will notice them. You will recognize them from all of these other Christmas movies that you have watched. I think, is that one man's name Oliver Hudson? Is that his name? It could be. It could not be. I could be totally making that up. But when you see them, you will be like, oh, yeah, they're in all of the Hallmark family-friendly Christmas movies. Y'all will know them when you see them. The movie follows Alicia Silverstone, and who I think is Oliver Hudson, one of the main love interests. They were married. They're going through the process of getting a divorce. They start basically dating other people. And of course, they end up realizing that, like, baby, it was you all along. Christmas is everywhere. Christmas is everywhere in this movie, from the decorations to the storyline to it all. Like the activities they do in the movie, it is all there. It is unlike maybe one of the other Christmas movies we have recently spoken about and watched as a group. This one gives you all of the Christmas feels, all of the Christmas things, from the outfits, the set decorations, the people's jobs and what they do. There's a mayor in this movie, and y'all know those Christmas movies love to have a mayor, and the mayor was actually doing their divorce. Like, she was mediating their divorce meeting. And I don't know if that's a thing in real life where mayors sometimes do that, but this is a mayor of a small town. So maybe she's the mayor and their attorney girl. I don't know. I just do know that this movie was good. It is worth the watch. I give it 10 out of 10. I give it 5 stars for all of the reasons why we love an actual Christmas movie. Okay? Something else that's on Netflix that I have not seen yet, but I will be watching, is Being Eddie. It is an Eddie Murphy documentary, docuseries type thing. Anything with him is always going to be either funny and or enlightening as he has gotten older. So I will be watching that. But I promised my husband I would wait and watch it with him. So, girl, I don't know when that's going to be, probably Saturday or Sunday. But by the time I talk to you again, I would have seen it and then we could talk about it. There's that. Soulmates is a show on Netflix that's starring the girl from All Her Fault. So if you watched All Her Fault, which is a show we talked about in the last episode, or if you watched Succession when it was on HBO, her, and y'all know who I'm talking about. I don't know her government name either, but she is also in a show called Soulmates on Netflix. And I think when I pulled it up, it only had like 7 or 8 episodes. It wasn't that many, but people say the show is really good, so I'm going to watch that. Other Christmas movies on Netflix that I'm going to watch: Ghosting the Spirit of Christmas, which stars a girl from The Bold Type. I don't know her government name. I'm going to do better with that. But if you watch The Bold Type, which was like a fun Sex in the City type show, I think Michael Patrick King actually did The Bold Type. The Bold Type is cute. It's fun. I enjoyed it. It's on Hulu if you want to watch it. But the black girl on that show is the lead in Ghosting the Spirit of Christmas on Netflix. I'm going to watch that to support her. And then there's another Christmas movie called No Sleep Till Christmas, which is based on the premise that these two people cannot sleep unless they are sleeping next to each other. So I'm trying to figure out where the Christmas is in that, because y'all will be quick to tell me, Tia, that wasn't a Christmas movie. Just because it was winter time, it does not make it a Christmas movie. So I really hope No Sleep Till Christmas gives Christmas movie and not just a love story that happens when it's cold outside. Because I don't want y'all to drag me like y'all drag me over Finding Joy. But I enjoyed the dragging. The dragging was entertaining. It was funny. It was spot on. The evidence was laid before me. And there was nothing I could say about it. But, I mean, y'all really did be like, hey, girl, let me tell you, that movie was bad. That movie, then we gonna move on. But I have had a few of y'all message me since all of this and tell me like, oh, I hadn't watched it yet, but I've been seeing y'all talk about it, and now I don't know if I should or if I shouldn't. And I've been telling everybody in their DMs, girl, watch it. But just watch it knowing it's not a Christmas movie. And I think that will give you a much better viewing experience than the rest of us had. They have released a teaser for The Devil Wears Prada 2. It comes out May 1st. I am so super excited about it. I love me some Meryl Streep. I love me some Anne Hathaway, and I love it when the two of them come together. I cannot wait. If Andy is back working for Miranda, I will lose it. I will lose it. I hope Andy is not still with that same boyfriend. Like, I hope they have moved on. Please don't have her married to him, and please don't make her out to be someone who's trying to like basically be the old Miranda, which remember Miranda was married and she had the twins and she was trying to juggle like family and work, and she was seemingly always choosing work. That's what her husband said, but we know men lie. So I hope they don't do that to Andy's character. I hope everybody is just sassy and fierce, dressed impeccably, and that they are taking over the fashion magazine world as a duo. Of course, with some new characters brought in that will hopefully support the story and the characters that we love, instead of making it like silly and something that we should have never done in the first place. One can only hope. I'm so excited for that. Can't wait for that movie to come out. Okay, so like if you haven't seen Reasonable Doubt, the finale, girl, I'm going to do like I do when I talk about Beyonce. This is where you and I need to go ahead and part ways. Girl, love you down, love you bad, but I don't want to ruin the show for you, and this is about to be full of spoilers. Okay, if you haven't seen the finale of Reasonable Doubt, first of all, I would just like to say that when I was yapping on my Instagram story a few days ago, and I said that it was possible that the father could be the killer in some type of surprise plot twist, I was just yapping, but as it turns out, I know what I'm talking about. And I know what I'm talking about almost every time, because why is the daddy the killer? Let's just go ahead and start there. The daddy is the killer, number one. Number two, when they replayed how that came to be, I was like, okay, very believable. That makes sense. The daddy was the only person that came to court when Ozzy was testifying, which pretty much said to me he had a high stake interest in how all of this was going to play out. I get it now. The daddy is the killer. Wendy did not deserve to die. The sister, I think, has been holding a lot, and I hope they get that girl some therapy. She's held a lot. Cookie, don't bark. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Because she has been holding a lot in, and now we see why. Because she was there when Wendy died, but she didn't kill her. Ozzy was found not guilty, thank goodness, because he really didn't do it. So that's great, which we knew Ozzy was going to be found not guilty because we can't let Jax lose in court. Jax needed to win in court because once she won, she then found out that not only did Bill make partner, but her firm did go through that acquisition that they were trying to sneak and do behind her back, which they successfully did behind her back. And they kind of alluded to the fact that they weren't going to have as many like name partners or partners, period, now that they were under the acquisition. So I don't know if that meant that Bill became like a name partner and they were dropping Jax from the name of the firm, but still keeping her on as a partner. Like she was still going to be a partner. She was still going to keep her billable rate, but like the name of the firm was going to be whatever it is, but drop the Stewart, right? And they were going to put Bill's name in that place. That's kind of how I understood that whole conversation, but I don't know if that's accurate. Somebody that works in law can probably give us that tea a little bit better than I can, but that's what I got from it. And whatever the meaning of that conversation really was, it had to be something that did not work out that well for Jax, because she goes back to her office. She takes a look around. She looks at Barack Obama on her wall and she said, there's got to be more for me out there than this. I am the money of this firm. I'm the one that's getting all these clients out of big trouble. I am the one billing all these hours. If it wasn't for me, people wouldn't even know about this firm because I take on all these high stake cases and I win every time. So Jax goes down the hallway in her red suit. And if you notice lately in all of the shows, when the character is about to really be about her business and make a big life change, they've been dressing them in power red suits lately. I saw that on the morning show a few episodes ago. But Jax goes up the hallway. She gets a box. She goes back to her office and she starts packing up her stuff because she was like, you will not be riding off into the sunset on my back and my hard work. If I can do it for you, I can do it for myself. So I'm going to open up my own law firm. And does. We see that in the end of the episode. She opens up her own law firm. Now, between her leaving the firm and her starting her own, a lot of things happen, okay? She meets up with Chelsea. Chelsea tells her that the daddy is really the one building the scheme to get money out of her. She meets up with the daddy, and the daddy blames it on Chelsea. So now Jax doesn't know who to believe, and she tells her dad, I don't know if I want you in my life. I don't know if I want Chelsea in my life. I don't know if I want either one of y'all in my life. But it seems like I'm not going to be able to have both of you at the same time. And that really sucks for me. She gets in her car and she pulls off, right? They have a family dinner. Ozzy comes to the family dinner, right? All is going well. At the end of dinner, now this is where I say sometimes, Jax, girl, why you couldn't just represent that man and let him go, okay? But she is cleaning up in the kitchen after dinner. Her and Ozzy are talking. She tells Ozzy, I'm putting you in rehab because I love you enough to actually help you live a better life. In a minute, like in 20 minutes, 2 people are going to come from a rehab facility and they're going to take you to rehab. Ozzy doesn't like it. He says, Jax, I'm really mad at you, but I actually really love you too. So I'm going to go cool off, wait for the people. When the people get there to get Ozzy, Ozzy has overdosed in her son Spencer's room. Very sad. Very sad. Then we have Ozzy's funeral. During the repast, and let's call it a repast. I didn't see nobody eat no food, but let's just say it was the repast. During the repast, the mama is entertaining conversation about post Ozzy's life transition projects. Like a producer literally comes up to her during the repast and says like, hey, if you've got a minute, I'd like to talk to you. I'd like to run a few ideas by you. to tell Ozzy's story. And she's like, okay, well, let me come over here and sit down and find out what this money gonna look like. So now that that's happened, I'm like, yeah, Ozzy was right about you. You really never did operate from a place of being his mother. You were always truly like his manager, looking to eat off of him. Bless his little heart. Bless his little heart. So during that, though, let's go back to when they were walking out of the funeral, the processional. Monica is staring her down from across the street, right? And that is important to know that they were looking at each other from across the street. Okay. Corey also makes an appearance in this episode. So when I saw Morris Chestnut come back, I said, oh, what is he coming back to do? Because they're on a double date. Jackson, Lewis, Corey, and I think her name is Brandy on this show. First of all, Morris Chestnut comes back engaged. He comes back engaged. And I really didn't appreciate that, nor did I like it. But then he's the one that tells Jax, like, yeah, then people over at your law firm, they trying to play you to the left, which is why she ended up quitting. I'm recapping this all out of order, by the way, but it's fine. You're following me. So now I'm like, why bring Morris Chestnut back for those few little minutes right here at the end? Are we going to see him next season or not? And why make him and Brandy engaged? Are you guys setting us up so that in season 4, when you do bring him back, it is like that much more dramatic, because not only will Jax be cheating on Lewis, but he will also be cheating on his fiance, which I kind of really don't like. That lady don't deserve that. That lady seemed real happy being with Morris Chestnut, and I understand why, because I would feel the same way, but I don't want her feelings to get hurt. We were only supposed to be trying to get rid of Lewis, and we may have. Now, Lewis did step up right here a day late and a dollar short at his job by going ahead and firing that boy that worked for him. He had security come in and drag him out real nice and swift, because he realized that boy really was at work not doing a thing. So he finally fired him, which made me respect Lewis a little bit. You know, I was like, oh, okay, Lewis, so you finally speak it up right here at the end. That's great. But then as the episode closes, they are in Jax's new space where her new law firm will be. Who should walk in to them hanging pictures on the wall but Monica? Monica walked in all black. She had on some all black, let's say they were K-Swiss. I don't know what kind of shoes they were. She had on some murderer shoes. Her whole outfit said, I'm about to kill somebody. It was black shoes, black jeans, and a black hoodie like the one Beyonce wears when she's working on an album. All black. She had that gun pointed. Jax is like, no, Monica, no. And then you just hear the gun go off. And then, of course, that is how the episode closes and the season comes to a completion. That was the finale. And so now I'm like, who just got shot? Hopefully it wasn't Daniel, because we really love Daniel, and Daniel got a haircut at the end of this season that really does position him to be really that guy when the show comes back. He looks so handsome. If Jax gets shot, I feel like that's a lot. That's a big push. Jax has been kidnapped before and made her way out of that. She's had that lady with the side baby threaten her all up and down. She's made it out of that. She gets shot. We know she'll make it because the show is about her. But I would just rather her not get shot, which only leaves Lewis. And with the way we have been dragging Lewis all this season, what if Lewis doesn't make it? Now, see, when I was dragging Lewis, I didn't want Lewis to go out like that. This is not how I wanted him off the show. Like, I didn't want him offed. I just wanted him I just wanted him out of Jax's house and out of her life romantically. He can even stay on the show, just not as her main love interest, which sometimes Lewis be catching me off guard. And I'm like, okay, Lewis, I see what she sees. I see why she keeps you around. It's just not enough of that happening for me to look past all of the other times when you be getting chumped. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. But hopefully, hopefully Lewis is not the one that gets shot. But I would like to believe that if a gun is being pointed at his wife, he jumps in front of it. He's got to. He really doesn't have a choice. If he really wants us to get back behind him, that's going to be the only choice he has. I mean, he has to protect her, and he has to take that bullet for her. He has to take that bullet for her, and then upon his recovery, his healing, and his awakening from that experience, I really do expect Lewis to be like, which now to that point, when Corey and Brandy got to their house for that double date, the way he was talking to Corey made me say, now, all right, Lewis, you said you're not here for nobody that you thought was trying to get too close to your wife. And we understand that. I feel like Lewis throws his weight around, but it's never 100%. Like, don't be passive aggressive. Just be aggressive. That's what we want to see. Like, we want to see that. So we'll have to see how things start off when it comes back for season 4, which I guess probably won't be until next fall. Is that how this show goes? Or does this show come back in the winter? Yeah, no, it'll probably be this time next year when this show comes back. So that was Reasonable Doubt. Let me know what y'all think about how it ended. I felt like the finale was great. I felt like I got all of the things that I needed to get from it. I feel like it ended with a good cliffhanger, and it makes me excited for season 4. So that's it, girl. That's all I got for you today. I'm about to go down here and figure out what I'm going to eat for lunch. So the next time you're out, compliment a woman, say something nice, make her day, make her smile. Don't compete, don't compare, don't complain. What God has for you is for you, and never knock another woman's hustle. I'll talk to you later, girl. Love you. Bye.